ideas and agenda to make sure that it happens, and making people follow you, right? Coercing them, or and some like really pushing for your agenda, what you want to see happen, and being strong in that way is associated with good leadership. Now, not all men lead that way, and some women lead that way, but on the whole, if a woman tries to do those same kinds of leadership practices, let's assume that those describe good leadership, right? Which I think is a question. Maybe good leadership is really very different than that. But if those characteristics of leadership are associated with good outcomes, we would expect a woman to go in and be able to do those same things and still have good outcomes. But the problem is, in the way people see a woman doing that versus a man doing that is very different. So a man who comes in and pushes his agenda and says, I'm going to make this happen, and this is how we're all going to do it. And I'm telling you, my followers, this is the game plan. This is what we're going to do for this project or this initiative or what have you, this strategic plan. People might say, oh, wow, he's strong. He's, assertive. He's confident. A woman does those same things. She is shrill. She is domineering. She is overbearing. So the way in which she is perceived doing leadership in that way is going to be very, very different and likely very negative. And so women leaders have had to come into their positions and redefine what good leadership is. And I think the way they have done that has led to more positive outcomes than those strong, confident, assertive, authoritative men. Leadership, the way that women have more successfully done it, involves more collaboration. It involves more ideas coming from other people, from other leaders, from the, quote unquote followers. It's more team oriented. And I think in the context of the world as it is now, where we are still struggling to come out of a global pandemic, where stress levels are exceptionally high, where there's very concerning conflicts that are affecting some of us very directly all over the world, that many of us are hurting, many of us are struggling, and then overlay global capitalism on top of that, right? And the kind of pressures to constantly do more and more, produce more and more. For women to come in and say, you know what, as a good leader, I'm going to pay attention to the physical and mental health of my team. I'm going to try to nurture the best out of my people rather than frighten them into producing more. And I think that particular approach that women sometimes have to bring to leadership in order to, get buy-in, get people to say, yes, I will follow you. It's actually a much healthier way of leading, given the context we are in now, where people do need more care. They are stressed. They are hurting. And in this sort of post context, I think it becomes increasingly important for all leaders to approach leadership in the way that women have kind of been forced to lead, as a softer way, as a gentler way, but as also a more human way. And so I think there is an opportunity really for women to shatter this glass ceiling by saying the leadership that I bring is going to be different than the man who came before me, but also it's the kind of leadership that our organization desperately needs right now.
Thank you very much, Dr.